Hello, and welcome to this new episode on the ripple effect. Real stories how my trauma informed yin yoga and Chinese meridians course changes lives. Every time I guide a new group through my training, I think I know what to expect. And then I'm reminded again this work never stops surprising me. Because what happens inside this training isn't just about learning how to sequence or understanding fascia or memorizing meridians. It's about the moment something clicks. When people realize that yin yoga isn't only about stillness or poses, it's about a way of being and showing up in life. And the stories that come out of this training move me every single time. Let me share something I have noticed after years of doing this work. When someone joins the training, it's because they want to learn something, to deepen their knowledge, to teach better classes, perhaps, or to add a trauma informed approach to their teaching or their everyday life. By the time we graduate, they experience a real shift in being more attuned, more grounded, more connected to their own inner landscape. Today, I would like to share the actual words my graduates used to describe their experiences and how the training has changed many aspects of their lives. So let's look at first what really brings people into this course.
A year before I went to the training, I stumbled into actually Wonderland without knowing anything about yoga, without having any experience, and being very overwhelmed with the idea of going into yoga. And diving deeper into yoga itself showed me just that there's also the side of yin yoga that takes a break from being all hectic and focuses a little bit more on my inner space, me, myself, and I would say. And that kind of drew me to that. I realized that is something that I want to gain more knowledge in to understand what is happening inside of myself, because that is something that I had the feeling I was missing.
I did a little bit of a search online, zoomed in on your training program. Loved the appearance of your program. I love the words that you used, how it that drew me in, and I think I got in touch with you relatively quickly, and you responded quickly, and I just felt like we had a connection. It just felt like the right thing to do.
I used to practice yin yoga a few years ago. I stopped it after, but this was a really good effect on my body and on my mental health too, in the same time, of course. And I really have the inner calling that I have to do something more to be more aware, being more healthy. This whole Chinese medicine system and the Tao, it's always was very interesting for me. So I wanted to deepen my knowledge.
The reason why I took the training is that I was always very interested in Chinese medicine. I just liked yin yoga as well a lot. And so it was just a perfect combination. The thing that I didn't count on was the trauma informed part. But that was also very, very good for me because I'm a former primary school teacher and I'm also very interested in psychology, also like early childhood psychology, and so trauma informed training you can even use with children, and that was like perfect for me.
Now let's explore how the course has shifted how my graduates show up in life, in relationships, or in their yoga teaching.
I'm so much more inquisitive about what's happening within myself. In class, sometimes without even words, I get a sense that the participants feel safe. And it's very rewarding. It's just beautiful to be in a state of presence and acceptance. And you feel that reciprocity. There's always going to be a yin component in my class, though. It feels like an honoring of self, one, but it's also an honoring of the training that I took, I have a much deeper reverence for how our bodies speak to us. I have a much deeper reverence for how our bodies are a gift that we can be in conversation with the physical. The conversation with self has deepened. I'm going to test to the fact that I didn't always respect my body, but that came from a place of stuck emotions. And when the emotions started to be addressed, therapeutically, somatically, through movement, through yin, through yoga, through journaling, all of the good things, is only then that I start to have reverence for self. The more that I'm able to appreciate this, it's given to me, greater ability to let go, greater ability to let things be, more resilient. I'm able to self-regulate so much better.
I learned through, especially through yin yoga and also in my sense, meditation, to take time for myself. And through this, I have a feeling that I became way calmer in so many areas in life, decision making, work wise, or in private life, being more with myself, and also being not afraid of my thoughts and all the emotions that I have with that, to acknowledge them and welcome them in and be like, these are a part of me and myself, and I don't need to push them away. So this is something that really changed a lot in my daily living. I do this mindfulness practice every morning before I go to work. It's just taking some time for myself to ground myself and take a moment and feel yourself, like, how am I feeling today? Because I meditate every evening nowadays. That helps me to have a better night's sleep. The third one I would say for me is I do a yin yoga practice every second day. It's just very relaxing for me, as also releasing a lot of stuff is something that helps me a lot.
The turning point after or during and after the training, like a lot of things what I was learned before, like meditation, psychotherapy, it all came together. Let my body and my mind be what it is, and not go against it, and don't try to change it. Just like really monitoring like what's going on, and then let it be. But the body awareness for me is like a really good effect what I feel in my everyday life, and like the mental effect of the practicing to set boundaries, and it's just like a better life quality.
I think the biggest shift was because of the physical part, that while I'm teaching, I'm less in my head and more in my body. I realized that presence is everything that is really, really needed when I'm in overwhelming situations in my everyday life. This helped me to be present again and not to just like space out. Yeah, I think that's the biggest shift for me personally. I also teach kids. I teach aerial yoga to kids. The kids, they have so much energy, so you really need to stay grounded while flying, basically.
Indeed, yes.
And so it really was a game changer for both. For me as a yoga teacher, but also in my personal life. When now I even do little exercises I learned in yin yoga with the kids. So grounding exercises, and that is just wonderful.
Let's hear, what were their biggest takeaways from the course?
Biggest takeaways would be attunement with self and other, sense of self and sense of other, reverence for self and reverence for other. I personally feel like my life changed after April. I feel as if I've stepped out of my protective masculine, not fully, but a lot more. I feel as if since I've taken the training that I have stepped more into my feminine, giving permission to self to experience the whole range of emotions that we've been given and to be okay with them and to see the beauty in the emotions that are deemed bad, because those emotions are pointing us to a direction of more freedom. So there is no good or bad. I have to say that out of all of the trainings that I've ever taken, I don't think I will ever forget this one, because by far it marked my life the most. And the training is unfolding every single day. The training was by far, and I think what's important to me and what's enhanced my own authenticity is Liz's authenticity. And the more that you experience authenticity through others, as I did with Liz, the more that you tap into your own.
What helped me the most is the tapping with the kids. And I think something else that I use almost every day is just the awareness of the four different responses. So whenever I'm with people, I can now also read their body language quite better, and I know what I could also do to help them. That's something
Really
what
good.
that really changed my life. Yeah. What stayed with me the most was also the meridians. I'm still learning, but it's something that is for me personally a game changer.
It was a starting point to realize my potential, getting on the right path with the right tools to figuring out who I am and what are the things that are important to me, embracing the fact that I am learning and don't need to know all the answers at this point, and realizing that I maybe won't ever have all the answers, but I'm on a learning path of getting there. This training for me was like the beginning of a wonderful journey that I'm still on to this day, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'm thankful that I'm still in contact with a lot of people from that training, and being able to listen and share and ask, and just that's a space that I would say is very, very important also to me. That's something beautiful that also a lot of people would enjoy to be part of, that kind of like group of people that meet once and then share the rest of their life.
And that's the heart of this work. And if you are considering joining my course but not entirely sure, this is the message of my graduates to you.
So if you are a yoga teacher, or if you're just someone working in the social field, I'm just interested to have like another perspective, and you also want to do something for yourself, this is the perfect way to go, because you learn tools to regulate yourself, and you also dive deeper in psychology, and therefore I would actually recommend this training to everyone who is just like interested in growing.
If there is just a little something inside of you that is like, okay, it's intriguing so far, I think there are things that could help me in my daily life. Or even if you don't know it, give it a try. Talk to Ulyss and reach out. But it is a journey that I wouldn't want to miss anymore. Not only because of the teaching, but also of all the people that I've met and who I'm sharing all this with right now. And if you feel that your life is already very hectic and there's a lot of things going on, and that you sometimes maybe also, like I did, have the feeling you lost a little bit control over, and it is a good starting point to understand how can I grasp that whole thing again, and get a little bit more in the steering on this, in front of the steering wheel. And if everything is already going well, hey, then just take it for the ride, because it is such a cool experience. So just do it anyway. Or you're already teaching yoga, do it, because it brings you to a different level of thinking and a different level of understanding, especially in the trauma informed part is something that is very beneficial. What I didn't see in any kind of training I did, and I'm not talking about only yoga trainings or anything, is the level of commitment and the level of wanting to share knowledge also upfront by a teacher. Take this opportunity. I urge everybody, like, sorry, Liz. Hopefully, a lot of people will reach out, but it is such a cool thing.
Knowing your why is one, and number two is to be pretty much in tune with who's going to be teaching the class. So my recommendation is to always get in touch with the instructor to get a sense of who they are, because it's an investment and it's a beautiful practice that has the power to enhance your life and bring it to another level. Ask questions about the program, to make sure that it's a good fit and a good match for what their either personal or professional needs are. It's just the fact that you said my door is open at any time, I think is all I needed, because that gave me a sense of safety and an instant sense of going above the call of duty. I think that is so important when aligning with a teacher, is that I knew that I felt safe with you, and that you were able and willing to go above the call of duty to accommodate and give me as much information as I needed.
I often talk about this training as a ripple effect, because that's truly what it is. When one person learns how to slow down, feel their body, and respond from regulation, it creates safer spaces across the world. Studios change, communities shift, people start showing up differently in their relationships, their work, and their families. That is why this isn't just a teacher training. It's an invitation to remember the kind of presence the world desperately needs. So here's an invitation for when you are ready to experience this for yourself. If you have been feeling a call towards this kind of work, that deep inner knowing that your body, your teaching, your life is ready for a slower, more attuned way of being, there are two beautiful ways to begin right now with my free resources. The Emotional and Nervous System Yin Reset is an experience that combines short, comprehensive theory, guided Yin Yoga practice based on my integrated signature approach, the Meridian Emotion Nervous System Yoga method, and a reflection journal to integrate your experience. And if you are ready to go even deeper, you can join my free Yin Immersion event from the 5th till the 7th of December, a free 3-day online journey for yoga teachers and practitioners to explore my signature method and to discover how Yin Yoga can transform the way you relate to your emotions, body, and nervous system. With these free resources, you can get a real taste of the teachings, the energy, and the community that has supported hundreds of teachers and practitioners through their own transformation. I'm going to share the links to these offerings in the description because these real stories, they all started with a small yes.